people were terrified of offending Anna Wintour.
I've been waiting for this film for such a long time, and it most definitely didn't disappoint me.
Oh, great.
I feel like the first one captured a very specific moment in fashion media, and since then, so much has changed. There's been Condé Nast layoffs, walkouts, like that whole world, how it operates, has just completely shifted. What felt timely about revisiting this now, and was there anything specific actually that triggered it?
Well, as you described, those changes in the world of fashion and journalism have transformed what was once, a thriving magazine business into a less thriving digital business, and how fashion continues to get reported is a big question mark. And it seemed really fascinating to find out how would Miranda Priestly deal with the challenges that are facing her magazine and the future of publishing in general. And on top of that, she's a woman in her mid-70s, and how long does she keep doing it? And when is the right time to step away from something that is so important to you?
It's so amazing that so much of the original cast has come back, and you and the crew behind it. And I know maybe that didn't feel like something that was going to happen for a very long time.
Right.
So what do you feel like changed for you and maybe for Emily Blunt and Stanley Tucci and Anne Hathaway, that you guys all were so excited to actually come back to the story?
I mean, Aline Brush McKenna wrote a great script, and the ideas for that came about just through very healthy conversations about how these worlds, or how the culture had changed, and real curiosity about how the characters would deal with them. We had all said no for a long time to the idea of a sequel. It just felt like the first one, we got lucky, everybody seems to like it, and let's not mess with the memory of that experience. Yeah. But, a few years ago, it just felt like, wow, I saw the Emily and Annie and Meryl on the SAG Awards, and they had such great chemistry. They were so funny, and the jokes from the first movie still resonated. We still quote so many lines from that movie, and I felt like, maybe, our curiosity about those characters would fill a void.
There's a really great balance between nostalgia, but also making something that feels current. And as Gen Z, I feel like there's a lot of content which maybe tips into something that feels like parody, and this didn't at any point. How did you navigate that line and that balance?
I mean, we policed ourselves really well. It is really easy to sort of fall into doing exactly what you did before, knowing that may have worked. And so we, Aline and I pushed ourselves and pushed the actors to say, don't fall into that trap. And, narratively, creating new obstacles for the characters and new story twists, and making sure that it stayed really funny, making sure that the world it felt new, so the audience is taken. The fun of the first movie really is you're getting a peek behind the curtain at a world that's pretty exclusive, and this is another opportunity to do that.
Yeah, and I think from the get-go, there's so many great and subtle callbacks to the first film. I love this. Hopefully not a spoiler for anyone who watches it, but in the first couple minutes, the two belts.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Thank
are
you.
there any which you really wanted to make it, but didn't make it into the final cut, or which just didn't find their place in there that you loved from the first film?
There was one line when Andy first comes into the office and meets Meryl. There was a reference to the memorable line when Meryl says, no, that wasn't a question.
And you have no style or sense of fashion?
Well, I think that depends on what you're...
No, that wasn't a question.
That joke, we had a callback to that, and it didn't quite fly. So that got edited out.
I thought it was really great as well. Like, that's all from the first film.
Yeah.
It's just so iconic. But I thought it was so great and tasteful that it actually only just came back like once.
One time, yeah.
In the film. I bet that took a lot of restraint.
You know, that, yeah. I mean, Aline, I give her credit for that and just saying, yeah, it has to be there, but it's going to come at one really important moment in the movie.
I feel like in the first film, the cameos there are so of their time. I think Giselle, and now in this one, it feels like they've shifted, but they still feel iconic in their own right. I mean, Emilia de Moldenberg is in it, Donatella. There's too many to name. Mark Jacobs.
Jean Baptiste.
What was kind of the thought behind kind of
Well,
having all those people coming?
I mean, we were really limited in the number of cameos we could do in the first movie because people were terrified of offending Anna Wintour. So so many people we would ask would say, "Oh no, I'll talk to you off the record, but don't ask me to be in the movie." And this time around, things were completely different. Anna Wintour herself came to visit the set. She's friendly with all the movie stars, and she's been very supportive actually of the making of the movie. So that opened a lot of doors for us. People have a lot of affection for the first movie, so. A lot of people were very excited to be in the movie, and maybe my favorite cameo is Rory McIlroy, the golfer who just won the Masters, is at Irv's party, and has a line. So from all walks of life, there's great little surprises in the movie.